Every morning before the sun is fully up, a 104-year-old woman in southern Japan does something. Not a pill, not a procedure, not a diet she read about. Something so simple that when American researchers first watched her do it, they almost did not write it down. But here is what the data showed when they finally measured it. Her cells, her actual living cells, were functioning like those of a woman in her late 70s. 27 years younger than her body should have been. And she was not unusual in that village. 83% of the centenarians researchers studied there shared one behavior in the first 30 minutes of every single morning. I am going to show you exactly what it is. And I am going to give you the specific 4-step version you can begin tomorrow. But first, I need to tell you something about your own morning that your doctor has almost certainly never mentioned. Because what is happening in the first 30 minutes after you wake up right now is aging your cells faster than almost anything else in your daily life. And you have no idea it is happening. The American morning routine was not designed for your health. It was designed for your productivity. And those two things, it turns out, are in direct biological conflict. Think about what happens the moment your alarm goes off. The phone comes up, the news loads, the emails appear. The brain shifts instantly from the slow restoration of sleep into the rapid-fire processing of information it was never meant to handle at that hour. And here is what that costs you, at the cellular level, every single day. Your body produces a hormone called cortisol. It naturally peaks in the first 30 to 45 minutes after waking. This is normal. Your body uses that peak to bring you online, to fuel alertness, to mobilize energy, to get you moving. But cortisol was designed to peak and then fall. The modern American morning does not let it fall. The screen keeps it elevated. The news keeps it elevated. The coffee, before the body has stabilized, keeps it elevated. And chronically elevated cortisol does something that the wellness industry has never put in a headline, because there is nothing to sell you to fix it. It destroys your telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. Every time your cells divide, they get slightly shorter. When they become too short, the cell stops working correctly. This is not a metaphor. This is not a theory. This is, in the most precise biological sense, what aging is. And the morning routine that corporate America normalized, alarm, phone, coffee, go, is one of the most efficient telomere shortening systems ever accidentally designed. The centenarians of Japan never adopted it, and their cells show the difference. Japan has the highest concentration of people over 100 years old of any developed nation on Earth. But the longevity does not spread evenly across Japan. It clusters, specifically in the Ryukyu Islands and several rural southern prefectures, where something about the way people live interacts with their biology in ways scientists spent decades trying to fully explain. In a landmark study published in the Journals of Gerontology, researchers followed over 1,800 centenarians in Okinawa across 25 years. What they found broke something open in Western medicine. These people were not just living longer, they were living better for longer, and then dying quickly at the very end. No slow decade of dementia, no years in a wheelchair, no decade-long goodbye. Sharp minds, strong bodies, free of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and the cognitive decline that Americans have come to accept as the inevitable price of getting old. Researchers called this compression of morbidity, being sick for a very short time before death, being well for everything before that. And Dr. Craig Wilcox, one of the lead researchers embedded in these communities for over 2 decades, said something I have not been able to stop thinking about since I first read it. He said, and I want you to hear this carefully, these people are not genetically special. They are not taking anything we cannot access. What separates them from us is almost entirely behavioral. And the behavior that matters most happens in the first 45 minutes of the day. 45 minutes. That is the window. Here is what they do with it. Step 1. No screens for the first 30 minutes after waking. Not reduced screen time. Not checking one thing. 0 screens. This is the step most people resist, and I understand why. The phone has become the morning. It feels like you are already behind if you do not check it immediately. But here is what that phone is doing to your body the moment the screen lights up. It is telling your nervous system that the threats have already begun, that there are things demanding your attention, that you are already behind. Your cortisol does not drop, it climbs. The centenarians of Okinawa wake into silence. They do not reach for anything. They let the body's natural cortisol curve begin to fall on its own, the way biology intended, before they introduce any external demands. You do not need a special practice for this step. You just need to leave the phone face down until you have been outside. That brings us to step 2. Step 2. Get outside within 30 minutes of waking. Not for exercise, not to hit a step count, not for any measurable goal, simply to be in outdoor light. Here is why this matters more than almost anything else in the morning. Morning sunlight hitting the retina within the first hour of waking sets what scientists call the circadian clock, the master biological timer that governs your sleep quality, your immune function, your hormone release, and your cellular repair processes. When this clock is properly set each morning, every system in your body runs more efficiently. When it is not set, when you spend your first hour under artificial indoor light staring at a screen, the clock drifts. And a drifted circadian rhythm is one of the most consistent predictors of accelerated biological aging ever documented. Research from the Salk Institute found that people with disrupted circadian rhythms showed cellular aging markers equivalent to being 7 to 12 years older than their chronological age. 7 to 12 years from skipping the morning light. And here is what I need you to hear if you are thinking that this does not apply to you because of where you live or what the weather is like. You do not need sunshine for this to work. An overcast sky, a gray morning in January, a covered porch. All of it provides more than enough photon exposure to set your circadian clock. You need outdoor light, not sunlight, outdoor light. Even 5 minutes at a window that is open to outside air is better than nothing. The centenarians are not doing this because they researched circadian biology. They are doing it because going outside in the morning is simply what their culture has always done. And their telomeres are showing us that their culture was right. Step 3. Touch something living. This is the step that researchers almost did not include in the data because it looked to Western eyes like nothing. The centenarians garden. They tend plants. They water things. They pull weeds. They check on what grew overnight. On apartment balconies, they have pots of herbs and small flowering plants that they visit every morning without fail. This is not decoration. This is not a hobby. Contact with natural environments, specifically contact with soil and living plant matter, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and repair mode, the biological state in which tissue regeneration, immune surveillance, and memory consolidation happen most efficiently. You are not in parasympathetic mode when you are scrolling your phone. You are in parasympathetic mode when your hand's in soil at 7 in the morning and there is nothing demanding your attention except whether the tomatoes need water. If you have a yard, use a corner of it. If you have a balcony, 1 pot of herbs is enough. If you have a windowsill, a single plant that you water and check each morning gives your nervous system something no supplement can replicate. The contact is what matters, not the scale. Step 4. Eat after the morning, not during it. Every centenarian community researchers have documented in Japan delays the first meal until after the morning outdoor practice is complete. This is not accidental. During sleep, your body runs a cellular cleaning process called autophagy, where it identifies and removes damaged cell components that accumulate through the day. This process continues into the early morning hours and is disrupted the moment food is introduced. By delaying your first meal by 30 to 40 minutes after waking, by letting the morning practice happen first, you extend that cleaning window, and you eat your first meal in a parasympathetic, calm biological state rather than a stressed, cortisol-elevated one. The way your body processes that first meal is dramatically different depending on which state you are in when it arrives. The centenarians eat slowly. They eat after the quiet. They eat without screens. Their digestive systems, their blood sugar responses, their inflammation markers, all reflect that difference.
I want to tell you something that one researcher wrote in his field notes after spending 6 months in these communities. He wrote, I am paraphrasing because the original phrasing is technical, but the meaning is this. What these people have is not a longevity secret. What they have is a relationship with the beginning of the day that the industrialized world systematically dismantled over the course of about 80 years, and we have spent billions of dollars trying to pharmaceutically replace what they never lost. 80 years. That is how long the modern morning has existed. Alarm clocks became standard in American households in the 1940s and 50s. The smartphone morning is barely 15 years old. Your body is still running biological programming that is 200,000 years old. And for 200,000 years, the human morning happened outside, in natural light, in contact with living things, in relative silence before the demands of the day arrived. The centenarians of Japan are not doing something exotic. They are doing something ancient. And when one of the researchers asked a 103-year-old woman in her village what she believed was the source of her health, she thought about it for a long time, and then she said something that does not translate perfectly into English, but the closest version is this: I greet the day before the day can surprise me. Think about what that means for a moment. She is not waiting for the day to come at her. She is going to meet it on her terms, in silence, in nature, in intention, before it has the chance to put her on the defensive. That is not a wellness strategy. That is a philosophy of being alive, and the biology tracks it perfectly. Now, I want to say something directly to you. If you are 60 or 65 or 70, you may be thinking that you have already lost years to the morning routine you have had. You have not lost anything that cannot be recovered. The research on telomere biology, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, shows that positive lifestyle interventions can measurably lengthen telomeres in adults well into their 70s and beyond. Your cells are not fixed. Your biology is still listening. It has been waiting every morning for a signal that tells it the day is beginning safely, calmly, the way it was designed to begin. You are not too old for this. You are exactly the right age for this. Because the people in those Japanese villages who are living to 100 and beyond, they are not people who were born different from you. They are people who made a decision about their morning and kept it. That is who you already are. You just have not started yet. Tomorrow morning, before 8 a.m., step outside. Leave the phone inside. Find something living, even if it is a single plant on a windowsill. Stay for 20 minutes. That is where it begins. That is where it has always begun. Before you go, I want you to do one thing right now. In the comments below, type the words, "Tomorrow I go outside first." Not because it helps the channel, though it does, because there are thousands of people watching this video right now who are sitting with the same hesitation you might be feeling. And when they scroll down and see those words written by someone just like them, it changes something. Your comment is not just a comment. It is a signal to someone else that this is possible, that people are doing it, that they are not alone in deciding to begin. Type it now. Tomorrow, I go outside first. And now I need to tell you something about the first meal these centenarians eat after their morning practice, because there is one food that appears on almost every table in these villages, consumed daily, that your doctor has very likely told you to limit or avoid entirely after 60. The reason your doctor believes it is harmful has nothing to do with the actual research on how this food interacts with aging biology. And the studies coming out of Japan and the Mediterranean in the last 5 years have completely reversed what we thought we knew about it. That video is already out. It is the next one. I will see you there.